Greetings, I am Revan. Today I'm here to talk to you about STD, best known as Fake Tech, and their latest outing of the Woke Brigade and their ongoing quest to give me a stroke. This week's episode begins in sickbay, where Empress Georgiou is by Dr. Colbert. I had to look that name up. So, as to the problem as with her mysterious illness that has been affecting her for the past few episodes, the doctor then looks at her after she threatens him mildly and claims that her illness could be interdimensional, physical, or temporal. This doctor comes from 10 years pre-discovery and is in the future a month. This level of stupidity just confounds my mind. But if you don't believe me, check out this clip.
Psychological, temporal, or interdimensional on your own. And get back to me.
You don't.
While he conducts his medical examination with what looks to be a phaser, suddenly, for no reason, Michael Burnham appears, claiming that he is just getting her baselines, to which he is promptly corrected. Georgiou then comes back with a line that says, 930 years in the future, and you still need a machine to deconstruct me. I could have deconstructed you both with a glance and a snappy comment. After he then looks at her heart, he says, "Ooh, your heart rate is increased," and she looks and she goes, "That is rage." Well, that did get a chuckle out of me. So Book, clearly after running up from behind the camera, says, "I need to go home to Michael Burnham." Burnham then says, "Home?" He says, "Yes, to Quijon." They have been dealing with the Emerald Chain for the last 15 years. Book then asks Burnham to go home with him. Burnham, who is an active officer, after just recently getting demoted the other day, and you would think this is a good idea to ask her to run away with you. Okay, so they are 2 weeks away at full warp, and they have less than 50% chance of surviving a trans-warp tunnel. Oh, God, if only there was a technology that could get you there. From maybe the past or something like that, a previous technology known to have existed. I don't know where someone or Alex Kurtzman could get such an idea like this.
Bridge to engineering.
Go ahead, Captain.
Deploy armor.
Yes, ma'am.
But that tech only exists in the mind and dreams of a madman. The Discovery then proceeds to spore jump to the planet. After they talk to the Admiral, they all agree that they will go in as diplomatic observers. The reason why the planet has been in trouble and getting all broiled up with the Emerald Chain for the past 15 years is that the Emerald Chain is run by an Orion who runs a group called the Emerald Chain. Get it? Because she's green? Emerald? Good one, Alex. Book, then talking to Michael Burnham, says that if the sea locusts are this far inland, that they have not been using their slug repellent that much. You use slug repellent on floating space locusts when you can talk to animals. This is too much stupid for me. Moving on. So, back on the ship, the Orion woman talking to her nephew, she's going on about how useless his parents were and that they wanted to get trans worms. They needed more trans worms. Okay, trans worms, you may ask, for those of you who have not watched this abomination. Oh, it is a hentai dog monster. I am not joking. A hentai dog monster. Okay, here's the clip.
Call them trance worms.
Please, Antosara, no!
Back on the USS, who gives a fuck? Captain Saru is trying to come up with a line for when he executes an order. I must say, this is most exercise I have seen poor Tilly getting since season 1. That girl's heart must be about to explode. Back to what I was saying. All the great captains in Starfleet have had a line. Yeah, sure, okay. But with the burn, this is what he chooses to focus his time on. I mean, you'd expect him to focus on bigger things for Christ's sake. Anyway, then down in the science, engineering room, whatever this room is, they have found a signal for the burn. Okay, somewhat of a plot. Woo. It's in a nebula that there is a signal that sounds like a song, which the Bartizans and Grey used to play. The computer has detected the precise tones for the past month, which nobody noticed until now, but okay. Saru then shows off some excellent hearing skills. He zooms in and he's like, hey, what's the lowest frequency detectable? So they do a bit of button swaggling and everything, and then they pull up the lowest frequency that it is detected. They then discover it is a Federation starship signal, which means that in the nebula there is a Federation starship that is sending out a distress call for God knows how long and is still okay and intact in there. Okay. So Stamets, talking to the rest of the cast who are in the room, turns around and mentions that Adria, she is pretty fast. Something that Tilly doesn't know what that's like to be. It looks, for all intents and purposes, that Adria vomits in her mouth, and then well, I'll just roll the clip.
Update me the moment you have something.
Of course.
They are fast. They? Not she.
In Captain Saru's office, the Andorian Rin walks in, thinking that he is a prisoner. Oh, they also fucked up how Andorians were meant to look. I mean, this is Shran, this is Shran's girlfriend, and this is the monstrosity from Star Trek Discovery. I mean, no Andorian in Star Trek has ever looked like this monstrosity. Meanwhile, down on planet Tampon, Book and his plank are going for a walk amongst Michael Burnham's family reunion, also known as a forest, where they come across squishy blue floating balls that Book, to make a way past, Book uses his powers of stupidity to ask these blue squishy, see? These things are from the ocean. The ocean. They came inland from the ocean, but yet they are flying. I I mean, the writing in this show absolutely boggles me at how stupid. But a friend of mine did point out that they look actually like a piece of nanotechnology. Alex, are you plagiarizing again? A few moments after this, we get to meet Book's brother. Despite both of them growing up in the same place at the same time, both of them have two vastly different accents. One of them is Spanish, and the other one is clearly British. Continuity is not a thing known to Alex Kurtzman. He scoffs at the word. We discover that Book and this man who he claims to be his brother are not physical brothers, but are bond brothers. But yet they still sound vastly different. Book then turns around and him and Mikey Spork both get captured. And we learn that Book has abandoned the planet for some time and some reason in the past. Now, back in the medical bay, well, nightmare fuel.
She's close to redline.
What the hell?
Well, this image is unsettling. What the hell is even happening here? To be honest, I'm completely confused about what goes on in Alex Kurtzman's mind when he's coming up with these ideas. Like, what does he actually think the human body is capable of? Oh, I know! I'm going to turn Giorgio into a hologram. Alex, you're absolutely amazing at that. Anyway, so we get to finally find out that Book's brother's name is Cain. He's the steward of the sanctuary, who appears to be selling transworm meat. And Book's name appears to be Tardex or Tracex. Either way, his name does sound like a diarrhea medication. So, Kleenex snaps at his brother and says, "My name is Book." To be honest, if I had a name like that, I'd change my name as well. So we then find out that Book father and grandfather both started working with the Emerald Chain about 15 years in the past, and both of them asked for a book on their deathbeds, which goes to indicate that the Emerald Chain has been killing the families of whoever turns against them. So, then suddenly, the Not Orion Syndicate comes out of warp. One thing. Well, actually, two things. One, isn't there meant to be a dilithium shortage? Because, I mean, a ship this big. Hold on a second. Here's my second thing. Where do I know this planet from? I've seen this somewhere. Ha ha! Alex Kurtzman is stealing from J.J. Abrams again. This planet is actually. That's right, folks. It is Vulcan from the JJ universe. They reused it. Come on, guys. Get some originality on you. Saru proceeds to scan the ship. They find out that they're being scanned. He raises yellow alert, not red alert, because he says, we will go in as diplomats. Yeah, hey bud, they're criminals. Yeah? You're in the 950 odd year old ship. You're going to go bye-bye. I know you had your fancy refits, but let's be honest. Look at that ship. Look at your ship. You're not going to last long in this firefight. Saru gets told from the cast who nobody cares about that they are getting an incoming transmission from the enemy ship, from Osira. So, well, she looks weird on their screen. And they start getting into a conversation about what Cyril's doing here, about the Federation, the faults of the Federation. And then, for the bazoompteenth time in an episode, they start talking about slavery. We get it, Alex Kurtzman. You feel bad for being white. Get over yourself. So, Book's brother and Osira are talking about handing over whoever Book came with, well, and Book himself. Also, they had scanned Discovery. Shouldn't you be able to tell by the metal of the ship and some of the technology that they're dealing with a ship that is over 1,000 years old? Well, that's the Discovery writing for you. Now, for not handing over Rin or handing over Book or whoever they wanted, they proceed to carpet bomb the planet. As she puts it, I will burn a hectare or something of forest every few minutes. Now, they then, whilst in the forest, Book and God on High, Saint Burnham, are running along, and they say, photon torpedoes. Now, for all you fans out there, you'll realize that photon torpedoes are able to level a continent in minutes, as stated in TOS. We've seen how powerful they are in Enterprise, we've seen how powerful they are in TNG, but yet, one of them hits the ground just to the right of Michael Burnham, and nothing happens.
It's already down. We're gonna attempt to repair it. No time. We're gonna lock on everyone down here. How much further?
Almost there.
And discovered that Rin actually has some top secret information, or he knows something about the Emerald Chain that he does not want to get out. I wonder what crap this could be. So, back on the USS Pizza Cutter, Captain Saru is looking for a weakness in the enemy shields, or any way through. When suddenly Rin speaks up and says, I know where they're weak, as I have climbed over every vessel in the salvage yard when I was on salvage duty. This I can see being useful later on. Rin willing to help the discovery, but as he says, it's only for Book's sake, because he owes him. So, all of a sudden, Lieutenant, not Arium, finally speaks up and says if the discovery fires on the vessel, it will be viewed as an attack from the Federation. Well, duh. It's not as if the Federation attacking a ship will be an attack from the Klingons now, will it? So the Emerald Chain will attack everybody and possibly destroy the Federation. Well, Saru in his judgment said, well, we have no opinion, but to disobey the direct orders of the Admiralty, saying that they are going to stop a massacre. I did not hear those direct orders in the previous episode. Oh, also, wasn't there meant to be a shortage of the lithium? Just saying. So, Tilly then gives Saru the idea that if they attack from a non-Federation vessel, that the Federation can have clean hands in this attack and look like that they're coming to the aid of the attacked ship. She then turns around and she says that the pilot of this vessel will be severely disciplined upon getting back for going rogue. If this happens, that makes it look like Saru has zero control over his crew because his first officer is an ensign. His previous first officer, a commander who went to the correct track, was a mutineer and on her original ship, and she disobeyed a direct order and she went rogue herself. So now the pilot of his ship, the pilot, is going rogue as well. And then she goes and she takes Book's ship, which moments later proceeds to shoot out from the back of the ship of the Discovery. Okay. Hey guys, all of the lithium's on that ship. If that is destroyed, all of the lithium goes away. Which everyone appears to forget while they're making this imitation Star Trek that they like to pretend is real. So, the magic transformer ship that they keep for safekeeping in the back of their ship is now moving, which is oddly reminiscent of a TIE fighter. Wonder where Alex Kurtzman got that idea from. So, Detmer and the cosplay Andorian proceeds to fly the ship over and to try and do a kill run over Osiris' vessel. As they swing around and they're hammering the shields, they're saying, oh, I'm doing no damage. In which the cosplay Andorian then says, after piping up, oh yes, I know exactly where to hit them. Anyway, so in Star Wars Trek, after Detmer begins to fire on the ship, sensors are detecting that she's not doing any damage whatsoever. She's using future tech that she was somehow trained on off screen that we never saw or heard her being trained on. The interface that she's using looks like Lego bricks. She's also used to using the cars her entire career, which to her was a month ago. So in a month, she got trained on how to use a completely brand new technology. Maybe 2-3 weeks? I mean, come on, for God's sake. The Andorian in cosplay then proceeds to tell her, I'm worried about going up against Osira, because last time I did, I lost my antennae. Yeah. Does anybody remember this scene from Good Trek?
Is a guardsman without 2 antennae.
You'll begin to compensate within a day or two.
They take 9 months to grow back.
So, then down on planet Parmesan, Book and Mickey Spork are going for a run to the forest trying to escape when they hear this battle in the sky, in space, which there should be no sound and they shouldn't be able to hear it. And they look up, and when they see the ship, Book proclaims, is that my ship? This is what they're looking at. Can somebody please point out to me where the hell Book is seeing his ship from so far away? They then get shot at by a crossbow gun in the 33rd century. A gun that fires crossbow bolts. When a galaxy that has been using phasers for at least 1,000 years, going back to the Vulcans, who have been using atomic weapons, and presumably they have been using phasers for even longer. The Klingons back in the 1500s, our time, were invaded by the Herc, who are a warp-capable civilization who we have not seen, who would have been using phasers. I mean, this is just stupid. So then, back on the USS Optimus Prime, Detmer and Rin are talking about how he's scared to be vaporized after losing his antenna. Okay. Detmer then says, "You're the only one who has ever stood up to Osira. In the Emerald Chain, he's the only one who has ever stood up to her. The size of this chain can take on the remnants of the Federation and presumably win. And he's the only one who has ever stood up to her. I mean, when you got good health care, I guess." She then says, "It's okay. I know you done the right thing, and I have the best co-pilot." Cue emotional scene. And she then says to him, "I am about to try something that could get us both killed while carrying the entire Discovery supply of dilithium." She turns and she says a line straight from Star Trek Nemesis. Full manual. And then this happens.
Killed. Computer, suspend automatic controls. Full manual control.
Folks, full manual on this ship is Oculus Rift controllers. I don't even know where to begin with this stupidity. Down on planet Chicken Gujon, Book and Michael Spork and his brother proceed to get into a fight. After taking out the guards, they are now one-on-one when Book's brother proceeds to get the better of him and pulls out a knife in the 31st century. Mikey Spork then proceeds to hold the gun up on them and says, "Enough." Book then says, "But Discovery won't," to his brother, "but Discovery will not give up, Rin." And Osira wants Book, and Mickey Spork then proceeds to say, "No, that won't happen." "Yes, Mickey, because we all know that your fuckboy cannot get taken away from you because you're the bestest ever." Back in space, Rin and Detmer proceed to defeat the Decepticons. No, wait, that's a different show made by Alex Kurtzman. Okay, so, back on the USS Optimus Prime, they proceed to defeat Osira's ship by destroying either the weapons array or the shields array. I couldn't care less. The Discovery is then hailed by Osira, who says this means war for the attack on her ship. "Congratulations, Tilly, you screwed the pooch." Back down on planet Not Vulcan, Book is now talking to his brother when Michael Burnham, Saint on High, says that they can work together to get rid of the sea locusts. They say to her, "Oh no, our powers are not strong enough," so she suggests that the Discovery can help them with the same beam from season 1 that they used on the Kelpian planet. Well, the Crystal Planet. Now, is anybody worried about radiation poisoning, or is that just me? No? Okay then. The brothers then proceed to kneel down and do what I can only describe as pray to the blue squishy things. Mikey Spork, now back on the Discovery, proceeds to shoot them with a magic beam that amplifies their power. Now, nobody has scanned or given Book any kind of medical examination. Nobody has asked Book what his physiology is, how does his skin light up, or what does any of the crap that he does do. So, how did they know that this will work instead of giving them an intense dose of radiation? I don't think that Alex Kurtzman or anyone has ever thought of that. After their little Bible session, it is revealed that the sea locusts heard them and made the choice to go back to the ocean. Guys, can someone please point out to me on this planet where's the ocean? Because I think you're kind of missing one. Yeah. Back on the USS Pizza Cutter, in a corridor, Book and his brother, with his son, are talking about how they don't want to be a stranger, how that they should call again, and it's not 15 years later. Book then reveals that he has a story that he doesn't want to tell just yet. So, in essence, he's a storybook. Sorry, just had to go there. Back in the canteen, Tilly and Rin are talking, and Rin reveals his big secret, that the Emerald Chain is running out of dilithium. Hey Rin, so is the entire galaxy. That's what the burn was, and that is the overall plot of this season. Okay, folks, I'm just going to end it there. Thank you all for watching my first ever video. I do really appreciate it. I would also like to thank my friends over on the Common Man cast for encouraging me to make this channel, or bullying me into doing it. Either way, it's after blurring together. Like, subscribe to myself, and then go over and like and subscribe to the sister channel over at the Common Man cast. I would like to also thank all the crazy cat ladies out there from behind the scenes. So remember, click my like button, flick my bell, and I will see you next time.